Hi everybody. Today you are going to be starting your Unit 1 project. We are at the end of Unit 1 already. So this kind of is going to be wrapping up the unit. We've talked about inputs, we've talked about outputs, we've talked about storage and processing. Today we're going to use all that different information to be able to propose an app. Okay, now we've kind of brainstormed some ideas for apps in previous lessons. Today we're going to be coming up with a brand new app. So you're going to have today to work on this as well as some time next week as well in order to finish this. But let's go ahead and go over the guidelines. So to do that, we're going to go over to Canvas. Okay. So right here under Friday, or you might be seeing this on Monday also, right? If you're a Red Day student, then you'll probably see this on Monday. But for now, this is under Friday's agenda. Next week I'll have it on Monday. But let's go ahead and click on the Unit 1 project, Propose an App Activity Guide. This is what you're going to be using to kind of go through the whole process of this project. Okay, you will click Load Unit 1 Project. This is going to open it up in a new tab for you. Okay, and you can see right here we have the Apps and Problem Solving Project Guide. Now if you're a remote student, you will be doing this individually. Okay, so your name can come right up here. Actually, we need to edit this document, so let's go ahead and click Edit Document up here and just click this first one, Edit Document. Okay, and what I would suggest you do is right up here, you're just going to, you can delete that, and then I would do your name right there. Obviously your name's not Mr. Yoder, you're gonna do that. And then for your period, you're gonna put whatever it is. So like if you're, I would state your period and then what color day you have me. So let's just say period 8 black is what I'll say. Now you might be period 8 red, you might be period 8, or you might be period 9 red, you know, say whatever you are right in that box. And then the date, you can put today's date as well, okay? I'm going to delete this stuff so it doesn't show up for other people though. Okay, now just a little bit about this app. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. Okay, so computer science is an extremely powerful tool for solving real-world problems. For this project, you will combine what you've learned about the problem-solving process and the way computers work in order to propose an app that could solve a real-world problem of your choosing. So your goal with this app is to help solve some sort of a problem that people have in their day-to-day lives. Okay, so we've talked in a previous lesson about different problems that people might have. It could be, you know, a homework problem, could be a problem with, you know, their car, it could be a problem with a relationship of some sort. There's all kinds of different problems. Your goal is to figure out and propose an app that can help solve one of those typical problems that people have in their everyday life. So what you will be doing, again, if you're remote, you're not going to be working with a partner, you're going to be working on your own on this, but you will define a real-world problem, brainstorm ways that an app could be used to help solve the problem. You're going to identify the inputs, outputs, storage, and processing used by the app. You're going to share your ideas with another group for peer feedback, and then you're going to incorporate feedback to create a final version of the app. Also, I forgot to mention, if you are working remotely, you won't be getting peer feedback either. Okay, so that's something that's just going to be for the in-class students, just because it's hard for me to for you to get peer feedback if you're remote, right? And then last, you're going to create a PowerPoint of your app to share with the class. If you are remote, you will be expected to record yourself presenting this PowerPoint of your app presentation. Okay, so you are going to submit the things that you're going to submit. You're going to submit this project guide. So you're going to fill out this entire project guide as you work on it. You're not going to complete the peer review if you're remote. You will if you're in class. Okay, but you are going to submit a PowerPoint of your app, as well as, I should also add, a video of you presenting it, okay, if you're remote. Okay, what you're going to do is you're just going to go through each of these steps, step by step, until you complete it. Okay, so I'll talk briefly about each step. Step 1, find your partner. If you're remote, you can just put NA for this, okay, because you're going to be working on this on your own. Okay, so Remote students, you can just go ahead and type NA for that, not applicable. Step 2, brainstorm problems. This is where you're going to brainstorm interesting and personally relevant problems that you can think of. Okay, we'll say that nothing is off limits. Obviously, it's got to be school appropriate, but don't worry about how computer science can help solve the problem. You might think about things that you'd like to improve in your school, neighborhood, and community, a task in your everyday life that you wish could be completed more easily, a cause that you feel strongly about, or something that is currently inconvenient or annoying for you to do, right? So these are all the different things that you can think of, and you can think of different ideas too, but you're trying to think of different ideas different problems that you think you could solve with an app. So in this box right here, what you're doing is you're just using this box as a way to brainstorm. You're listing as many problems that you can think of that you think might be able to be solved with an app. So list as many as you can think of. I don't want to just see like one idea here. Try and think of 3 or 4 or 5 different problems that you can use. Now you're not going to use all of them eventually. You're going to end up picking one of them, okay? Because in step 3, you're going to choose the problem that you want to do. You're going to use this area to brainstorm as many as you can think of. Step 3, now you're going to actually choose and decide which problem you're going to do. Okay? So first, you need to make sure it's interesting. Okay? Is this topic something that's interesting to you? It's going to be a lot more fun. This project's going to be a lot more fun for you if it's actually a subject that you enjoy, right? So try and solve a problem that you actually deal with and not just one that you don't care about, right? Make sure that the problem is well defined. Try not to be broad, right? Make sure that you clearly define what the problem is, and then make sure that it's relevant, right? The problem is an information problem that can be solved with thinking work. Make sure that the problem is actually a problem that can be solved with an app, right? So let's say you have a problem that you can't tie your shoes. Unfortunately, that's something that just requires practice. There isn't really an app, I don't think, that's going to help you tie your shoes better, right? So make sure that it's something that you can actually solve with an app, okay? Step 4, then, you're going to define your problem. So first, in this box, you're going to say, what is the problem? Be as specific as possible, what needs to change or improve, etc. In this box, you're going to say, who does the problem affect? Be as specific as possible. Who are you helping with this app? Okay. Number 3, how will you be able to tell that a solution to this problem has worked? How do you know if it's actually worked, if you've actually solved the problem? Okay. So define how you think you might be able to know for sure if you've solved the problem. So for example, let's say recently we played with an app that was an outfit picker, right? Where you enter in your favorite color, the weather it's like, and all that stuff, and then it gave you an outfit, right? Well, one way we know that the solution to this problem has worked is that it actually gives us an outfit that we can wear, right? That's how we know that a solution has been found, right? Step 5 then is your app. So from a high level, think about how an app could be used to solve a part of the problem you identified. What features would this app need to have? How would somebody use it? Okay, so if you need to update your problem definition above, then do so in this box right here. So thinking about your app, what would you need to change about it? And then name your app. That should actually go in this box right here. So when you name your app, put it right here. So let's say I call it Mr. Yoder's fun app about apps. I don't know. Okay, so you need to have some sort of a name for your app that's relevant to whatever problem you're solving. Okay, this is a dumb title. Please don't use it. Okay, I'm sure you can come up with a better title than I came up with on the spot. Okay, then this box you're going to put in what does your app do. So you're going to have a full description about what your app is going to do. So read through all these questions, right? Write a short description of your app as though you were describing it to somebody you'd want to use it. What does it do? Why would somebody want to use it? How does it help solve this problem that you're trying to solve? So you're going to describe it in this box. Step 6 then, input, output, store, and process. Right in this box, you're going to sketch your app. Now, if you don't know how to sketch, one thing you can do, there's an option in here somewhere. Insert maybe? No. Layout? No. There should be a drawing tool in here somewhere. Huh. You might need to actually open this in the actual Word app in order to get that to work. So let me just try that real quick. I'm going to open this back up real quick. Where's it at? Activity guide. We're going to launch it. And let's say we try and actually launch this. Let's edit this and open it in the desktop app. Let's see if this works now. Okay, so now let's scroll down to where the drawing part is. Yeah, okay, so if I can insert things here, right? So I can insert shapes. Okay, so if I wanted to draw like a little button here, I could draw a button. I could insert a text box in here, right? So I could actually, hang on. Right, so I could insert a text box right here, type whatever I want in it. Okay, so you can use the tools that are given to you in Word to kind of draw out what your screen is going to look like. Okay, I'm going to undo this stuff though so that it's not on there anymore. You're going to just basically draw and follow these instructions. It says sketch what a screen of your app will look like based on your description above. Okay. Right here in this section is where you're going to describe all of the different inputs that you're going to have. Okay, so you're going to type in, you know, the type of information, the source, right? Is it a user source, right? Do I need to type in this input? Is the source going to come from a sensor like maybe your GPS? Is it going to come from a touch screen? Is it going to come from the internet? What's the source of this input? And then give me an example of that input, right? So let's say my input is name, right? That's a user source. An example would be, let's say John Doe would be an example of that, right? That's a name that somebody could put in. Okay. So you're going to type in here all of the different inputs that you're going to have with sources and examples. The process right here, what sort of processing will your app use? Okay. Are you going to use if-then processing? Like how is your app going to process this information? Are you going to use if-then? Are you going to use counting? Are you going to use finding a match? I'm drawing a blank on what the last one is, but which of the 4 types of processing are you going to use? This one, store. Which information are you going to store in the app? Remember, if it's something that doesn't change, then you probably want it to be stored. If it is information that's going to change every day, then that's something that you don't want stored. So make sure you specify what all you want stored and what all do you not want to be stored every time. Okay? And then step 8, to finalize it and make a PowerPoint. Read through these instructions to make a PowerPoint. Make sure you include each of these things in your PowerPoint to be able to receive credit. And then step 9, you will present your app. You're just going to record yourself using your device of yourself presenting the PowerPoint that you create. Okay, the rubric. Okay, so if we go back to Canvas, we can find a rubric. Okay, so if we go back to modules, the rubric is posted right below the Unit 1 project activity guide. So if I click on this, I can see the actual rubric. You can see there's all these different categories. It's worth 21 total points. You can see all the different categories that I'm going to be grading you on. To get the most points for each one, you get 3 points. If you miss some stuff, you might get 2 points. Okay, basically you get scored based on how much effort you're putting into it and how well you do things. So just keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions over this, feel free to email me or send me a message right here in Canvas. I'm happy to help answer any questions that you might have or give any help that you might need. All right, thanks guys, and have a good day.